Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 exercises that's going to improve your karate stance transitions. We all know that the movement comes from the ground up, and that's how we generate the best power, the best speed, and the best technique. So these exercises are going to help to level up your karate stances and improve your karate altogether. Okay, so the first exercise, we're going to be working on transitioning from a front stance to a kibadachi, like a central or horse riding stance, to a back stance, or kakusadachi. What I want to do is just take a front stance first of all, this way. So the weight is predominantly on the front leg. From this position now, I'm just going to rotate the front foot and shift my weight back into kibadachi. So I've just moved slightly, my body's moved from this position here to just a slight bit further back. Now I'm going to go into kokutsadachi, and I'm going to rotate this foot, send my hip backwards and pull into back stance here. Okay, so now I'm loading that back leg. From this position, I'm going to shift myself back into front stance and complete the exercise. Okay, so we can work on this exercise in such a small space here, just the length of one stance, and we can get quite a lot of work done. So from here again, front leg is loaded, weight is forwards. I'm transitioning back to kibadachi, so just a slight shift. My body was here, and I've moved just this distance here now. Again, the feeling of pushing back this way, pushing back through the hip into kokutsadachi or back stance, and then pushing through that back heel to send myself back into zenkutsudachi again. Now what I can do with this is add some hand techniques. I'm going to make an agyuki from here, a rising block. As I shift into kibadachi, I'm going to make a soto-uki into the center. As I shift further back into back stance, I'm going to make a giran-burai, and then I'm going to shift forwards and make my gyakusuki from this position. Okay, so that's agyuki from the front, zenkutsudachi. Shift into the center, pull back, giran-burai, and shift back in with a reverse punch there. Okay, so that's your first exercise. So before we get to the second exercise, I just want to mention my partnership with Art Martial Clothing. They're a martial arts inspired lifestyle brand, and they've just released this new design t-shirt. They've got hoodies, t-shirts, all kinds of martial arts inspired gear that's great for the gym, great for casual wear. Check out their website. I'll put a link in the description of this video with a discount code for you to get 20% off. So check that out in the link in this description and have a look what they got. The second exercise is now going to work on compressing the back leg and using the back leg to drive forwards into our stance, which of course we want to be doing with our gyakusuki and some of our other techniques. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from a zenkutsudachi to a corner. Okay, so I'm going to go about 45 degrees. From this position, I'm going to pull this front foot underneath me because I'm going to be traveling to this corner, and I want to turn it around here. So now I'm compressed here. This leg is loaded. It's kind of I can feel the quads engaged and everything, and it wants me to push into my front stance this way now. Okay. The next step then will be to pull back to here and push back in. So I'm getting that little compressed feeling in the middle. So I come here, load and push. So I'm really generating force through that back leg. Here, load, push. And of course the progression from here then will be to make our punch as well. So I'd load here, load that back leg. Really want to be moving off of that and drive for gyakusuki. Load, push into that gyakusuki there. Pull, push, pull, push. So yeah, again, another exercise that we can do with very limited space. When I have a very full dojo, I kind of use a lot of exercise like this so we can still get a lot of work done in terms of our Kion training without needing loads of space, you know. It was quite a useful skill to be able to adapt like this when we had the Zoom sessions during the lockdowns a few years ago, you know, just to be able to train in a smaller space. And of course that translates well to use at home, trying to practice away from the dojo. The third exercise is going to improve our movement through our front stance or through our zenkutsudachi, make a more efficient movement that doesn't show a telegraph or anything like that, makes us quicker and also helps to generate power correctly. So what we're going to do is make a zenkutsudachi position again, a front stance. So what we're trying to do here is to train the initial part of the step forwards that we'd have in maybe an oizuki or a step-in technique, in our Kion at least. What I want to do then is, of course, load the front leg, keep my posture the same, and I want to pull the back knee up to the back leg. Okay, so I'm not bringing my feet together and planting, I'm just bringing my back knee close and back. I don't want to have my knee flared out to the side to expose the groin. You know, this is obviously a bad thing, inviting a kick to the groin or something. So from here, I want to be squeezing those knees together and coming back. Squeezing those knees together and coming back. What I want to do then is squeeze the knees. As this foot comes beyond, I drive through the back leg into my front stance. An exercise that we, or a movement we learned from this number 2 exercise, you know, where it's loading the back leg and driving through. So The exercise is this then. We're trying to reinforce the beginning part. So I want to be here and thinking about ripping that back foot from the ground. So I'm going to pull it fast and back, fast and back, fast. And then on the fourth or fifth one, or whatever number you want to go with, we pull it and push in one step. Okay? Of course, this can be added to our Kion exercises. We can just pull the back foot, one here, two, and then we can transition through and make our Oizuki or whatever technique we want to use for the exercise there. It's going to help us to improve our transition, speed, smoothness, and eliminate any telegraphs. How this then translates to application or practical use more so is when we're into kumite sort of guard and stuff. I'm not doing anything like this, showing the front foot moving out. So as I'm coming forwards to attack, I'm working on that back foot, ripping through the ground and sending it into my Oizuki or whatever attack I'm going with. So there's 3 exercises there that you can use to improve your stance transitions. And as I said at the start of the video, all of our power is generated from the floor and through our legs, you know. So improving these stances is going to improve our karate overall and improve our power generation, improve our speed, all this kind of thing. Before I finish, I want to mention again my partnership with Art Martial Clothing. Check out this new drop that they got. They just released it, plus everything else they got on their site. Some really nice designs on their clothes and stuff. So check that out. Link again is in the description of this video. Don't forget, if you enjoy this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.